Hello, welcome to my tech farm. It looks like this year we have the invasion of these 30 watt diode lasers, and this is Wizmaker L1 36 watt diode laser, and this is real optical power, not the power consumption of the engraver. The engraving area is 400 by 400 millimeters. This is standard for these desktop engravers, and it also arrives with air assist, which is basically mandatory equipment with these strong diode lasers, because it is not only cleaner the cutting of the wood, but also it is safer because it prevents creating of the flames. The speed is, well, I found different values, but approximately 400 millimeters per second, that's 24,000 millimeters per minute speed. This is quite big speed, but in most cases, even with the engraving, we will go with a lower speed. And interesting data, laser spot is only 0.06 by 0.08 millimeters. According to the specifications, this is very small spot. Actually, this size I saw only with the 5 watt diode lasers, where we had only one diode laser in that module. Because now with the stronger lasers we have 4 or 6 beams in focus into one spot, and sometimes they prolong the strength of the lasers for better cutting. So we will see how sharp is this engraving. Now about the safety, these are tools and not toys, so you need some safety equipment. The most important are safety glasses for everybody in that room, and use it in a good ventilated room, and if you use it regularly, then create some kind of enclosure and exhaust those fumes, and never leave the engraving without attention. Now let's see what's in the box. This is content of the package. On the top we had this instruction manual and user guide. One is for the hardware and the other is for the operating, for the software. And then we have these elements for the frame with the X gantry, and I was curious because I couldn't see from the pictures what type of the linear motion it uses, and I can see now these are those rubber wheels, but what is good thing that the sliding points is outside, not inside. With this we have more stability. Properly, this is the shaft to connect two sides of the y-axis, and then this is the laser module, and here we have to attach the air assist pipe, and this is the air assist nozzle. The glass is a little bit small, so probably it will be hard to do the positioning of the laser during the engraving. Safety glasses, cables, legs. Then we have these sample materials. Well, this transparent is probably for the focusing because it cannot cut transparent acrylic. Now, I'm not sure why they provide us always these thin plywoods. I mean, this is very strong laser. On the advertising, they said it could cut, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 millimeter thick plywood, and then they give us in a package 2 millimeter plywood. So it will be good to have some kind of sample materials, which is really on the edge of the possibility of this powerful laser. The power supply unit has the output of 24 volts and 6 amperes. And I cannot see the air assist here. In the meantime, I check on their website, and it looks like only their 20 watt version arrives with the air assist, but the 36 watt version, no. I don't really understand this decision because here it is more important, and I will present it as it is now. I have different pumps, but to be honest, I wouldn't even accept this review if I know that it will arrive without an air pump. Before I start the assembling, I want to show you now, because it's easier, if those V-slot wheels are not tight. In that case, you have to move this carriage above this hole and use open-end wrench on this eccentric nut. First step of assembling is connecting these profiles into the frame with 4 bolts into each corner, and this will secure the square position. After this, installing the X gantry, securing with 4 bolts. Inserting the shaft, this will transmit the torque from the stepper motor to the other side of the y-axis. Tightening of the set screw on this pulley is a little bit tricky because this X gantry must be in edge position, so it is squared, but now I cannot access to those pulleys, so I have to move it carefully, but it must be parallel. So much nicer solution if they would have 2 y-axis stepper motors. Installing 4 legs, just screwing them into the position, then sliding the module to the holder and securing with 1 bolt from the back side. And I really like this solution because every time I have to set the focus, it is very simple using this one knob on the back side. Done. And just in case if I will lost it, this is 4 mm thick distancer. Y-axis belts are tightened correctly almost. Only on one side I have to tighten it a little bit better. So this is the locking bolt and this is the tensioning bolt. Setting the tension here. And when it's good, I'm locking the position again. Last step, connecting the cables, and for nicer cable management I have to use these cable buckles and they can be stick to the frame. We have cable for the laser module, limit switches and stepper motors. This is my final cable management. Don't forget this part must be long enough so module can reach both edge positions, and this is for the Y-axis. So this is why I don't like this rubber wreaths. I can feel sometimes that bump. Probably during the operation it will not cause any problems. And another thing which requires a little bit better solution is this part here. So this is moving and this is not fixed. I think this should be fixed at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 centimeters here. And it is ready to be connected with my laptop, but first small notice, look at these emergency stop buttons. If I have to press it quickly, these cables are in the way. So these plugs should be on the side. If they are here, in that case the Wizmaker could provide some kind of cables which are under 90-degree angle, so they are not in the way of this emergency stop button. These are my regular materials I'm using in this kind of testing, so the results are comparable with each other, and at the end I will have some kind of cards about this engraver. Different types and thickness of the wood, black acrylic, anodized aluminum, stainless steel and similar. Setting the focus. And now let's see how loud is this thing. I mean, so far every 30 watt diode laser is extremely loud. Most of this noise is coming from this fan because it requires a lot of cooling. Okay, I think this is the quietest laser module from all those 30 watt diode laser I tested so far. So approximately 61 decibels, not super quiet, but this is the quietest 30 watt diode laser I tested so far. And a small thing where they can improve is to turn on the fan only when the module is operating. From the software I will use both the Laser GRBL, this is free software available only for Windows, but here I can do only one operation at a time. The Lightburn, it is more advanced software, not completely free, available for the Macintosh and Linux operation systems too, but here I can do different types of the cutting and engraving in one operation. Test engraving prepared in a Lightburn, and I have two lines, one is with 60, the other is 100% power. I will show you only here the last line, and this part is speeded up 2 times. And one of the squares even fell out, but this was only the engraving, so these are the speeds and the power. And even on 1000 millimeters per minute, 100% power, I reached the cutting speed too. Here you can see my settings in the Laser GRBL. This is that logo I'm always engraving when I choose the correct settings. This is the real-time speed, so you can imagine how fast or what speed I'm using here. And very sharp and clean engraving, so there is no problem with the vibration on the model. Then I try to engrave some grayscale image, and I follow the instruction in the user manual, and you will see this is way too slow. It even burned over the material on the other side. Then I tried my experience, my own settings, and this time it was better. Still not perfect, I don't have that gradient scale here, that transition is very minimal. And I engraved this Padme from the Star Wars, this grayscale image. These are only last few seconds of the engraving. And it's a little bit dark, so it could be lighter, so I could reduce the power or increase the speed, but it's okay. And then let's do some cutting. This is 3mm thick plywood. And this is cutting on different speeds, and yes, and here I didn't use the air assist, so that's why we can see these burned edges. And on 1000 millimeters per minute it was cut out. And then I have this air pump from different engraver, and I will do just 2 cuttings so I can show you the difference. And here you can see much cleaner cutting we have if we use the air assist. And then I'm moving to the 5mm plywood cutting, setting the focus, and this part is speeded up 4 times. And on 600 millimeters per minute full power it can cut out, yes, I can see that burnt edges, and then MDF cutting. This is very hard and I'm expecting something like this. And here you can see the footage speed up 4 times. And on 400 millimeters per minute full power it was cutting out. And then pay attention on the left side, this is cutting without air, you can see the flame on that side, so that's why it is recommended if you cut the wood, use the air assist. And then moving to the black acrylic, this is 3 mm thick. This is again speeded up 4 times. And interesting, on 300 mm per minute it was very close to be cut, but not completely. And then anodized aluminum engraving. I like to work with the anodized aluminum because there will be no flames, there is no smoke or fumes and similar, and it is not so sensitive to settings. I'm just burning off the engraved area, the layer, and here you can see different speeds, different settings, and basically I could use any of them in this case. And now engraving the stainless steel, I'm always using this plate. These are with 5 and 10 watt and these with 20 and 30 watt diode lasers, and with these stronger lasers I'm always using 200 millimeters per minute, and only now I noticed that basically this started with the warping thanks to this heat of the strong lasers. These are only last few seconds on 200 millimeters per minute speed. And let's clean it with isopropyl alcohol. And now I can speak in microphone. So for the feeling, yes, very deep engraving, so I can feel that engraved the surface of this stainless steel. And just to illustrate you with this Allen key. So for the feeling and for the looks, very similar like other 20 or 30 watt diode laser. Well, except this one, but this has some problems with the laser module. I'm waiting for the replacement. And now the final thoughts. Well, definitely very strong laser module, no questions about that. And few more things what I like here. I really like this frame, very stable and easy to assemble it. And I really like that it is quieter, not super quiet, but definitely much quieter than those competitors' other 30 watt diode lasers I tested so far. And I really like this method for the setting the focus. One knob on the back side, it is very comfortable, and when I set the distance, turn it and it's locking the position perfectly straight, and that's very stable method. Few things which I didn't like, or maybe there is a space for improvements. I think this cable for the laser module needs a straight relief here at the end. It would be good to have some kind of 90-degree angle cables here so they're not in the way of this emergency stop button. And I think this glass is a little bit too small, so it is sometimes hard to see the position of the laser during the framing or boundary check. I have a solution for this actually, the toothpick method. I think I should create some separate video where I will detail explain that. Actually, in the meantime, I uploaded this video. You can find the link in the description of this video. And also I didn't like that it don't arrive with air assist. Of course, maybe some buyers already have the pump and don't want to buy that with this. Of course, if you don't want to cut the wood, for everything else you don't need the air assist. But if you even buy one, you have to solve the pipe holder, because we have this cable holder, so cable management is fine here. But for the air pipe, we have to find some DIY solution, because don't forget this laser module is moving inside this 400 by 400 millimeter area. I'm very curious if some of you already have the laser engraver. Are you using air assist, or do you need one? Write me a few lines in the comment section, and any other suggestions also, you know, a few lines down. Thank you for watching, and happy and safe engraving.